Right, we're 1 minute early, guys and girls. You see, the women were always on time, not like these fellas. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So good morning, Kate. How are you feeling today?
Not too bad, thank you, my lovely. Okay, how are you?
Yeah, I'm really well. I had a really nice day yesterday because my daughter came back from a wedding, and her future fiance, who's a big Chelsea fan, boo, sick, and he was worse for the wear, so he couldn't drive home. I knew it because, you know, basically when they come, right, and there's been a big wedding or a party, he's always worse for wear. Right. He's drowning his sorrows because they bloody didn't do well, isn't he? You know what I mean? So he's got nothing to shout about over at Chelsea. But forget about Chelsea. Let's move on to the Spurs women.
Yes, let's do this.
And you know what? We've got some fantastic news for you all. You know, so what I'm going to do, right, first of all, let me find where I'm going, right? We've got some brilliant news, right? So I'll play Dermot's fantastic intro, right? If I can find it. Here we go. Sorry, because there's one spelling error, but that's Dermot. He's dyslexic, so you have to forgive him, right?
We do.
He's a brilliant guy. It doesn't matter.
And he works hard.
Here we go. Okay. Well, I'll let you break the breaking news, Kate.
Yes.
Because
great news yesterday. Spurs women have appointed a new head coach. Woohoo!
Woo, come on.
Robert Wilhelm. Is that how you say it?
Wilhelm, yeah, I would say so.
Yeah. He's been appointed till 20. Is it 2 years? He's been appointed for
2-year contract. Yeah,
2-year contract. He's 40. Comes from Swedish side BK Häcken, where he'd been head coach since 2022. Made appearances in back-to-back Swedish Cup finals and securing Champions League qualification during his first campaign.
It's fantastic, isn't it? So we've got a really good guy there, Katie. I think what we can do is move forward now with our team.
Yeah.
And you know, he's gonna come in with new ideas, right? Yeah. So he's a very experienced football player as well as a coach, and he's highly regarded in Sweden. BK Häcken are a really big team over there, and they generally make Champions League football. So last season he finished fourth. So I think they just finished outside, unless their rules of. I didn't actually get to know that. I don't know if you knew it, but in England it's the top three. Right. But they finished fourth. So I'm not sure if they actually made it, if they've got new rules in Sweden. But I'll check that out for you guys, no problem. It's just there's so little news from the Swedish Wikipedia and like the Swedish correspondence on England stuff. So it's very hard to find the information, but I will check it out. So there he is in all his glory. He's quite a handsome man as well. Quite distinguished looking, isn't he?
He is, but he looks like he means business.
Yeah, he's got that face, isn't he?
Yeah,
like,
definitely.
Don't you mess with me, mate.
Exactly.
Yeah, so he's got a very talented group of players to organise now, right? With Shalina Sadorski maybe leaving, we've got some other exciting news, haven't we, Kate?
We have indeed, right. You'll have to. This is him with his son, yes. I believe, isn't it?
Yeah, that's his son. That's about 4 or 5 years ago, I believe. Because I think his boy's a little bit older now. Because look, he looks a bit younger as well, doesn't he, in that picture?
He looks like Vernon Kay.
He does, doesn't he? He really does. And he's a tall guy, isn't he?
I think he's 6'6". I'm sure he's 6'6".
I don't know what sport he was playing there, but he's got a very it looks like he was playing in goal or something.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
It does.
Yeah. We don't want that one. We want this.
We want this.
We've got some more exciting news.
Yes.
Look who we have.
I'll let you say this one's name.
Yeah, so the breaking news, Spurs appoint. Right, let's get her name up. Here we go. Right, Spurs women beat Spurs men. See, we're quick ass ladies in signing a defender. The other half on the other side, they're not getting their finger out, are they?
No, us women get things done.
That's right. So we signed a new defender. She's a very pretty girl as well, I must say.
Yeah.
We signed her she's a Swiss international star centre back. Her name is Luana Bühler. I believe that's how you pronounce it. And we signed her from Hoffenheim in Germany.
Yeah.
So let's big her up. She's a fantastic player. She generally plays as a centre back. Very strong and powerful girl. Very good on the ball, brilliant at bringing it out that we needed. What do you think, Kate?
Yeah, she looks like a real quality addition. I mean, she's a Switzerland international, isn't she? I believe.
Yeah, she's Swiss international.
Yeah, she plays in a back four. It says that we'll be able to watch her play for the Swiss in this month's World Cup, which will be exciting to see. Yeah. I don't particularly watch the Women's Bundesliga, but she was regularly in defence for the Hoffenheim team that finished 4th this past season. And they've also played Champions League group stage football in past seasons. So she's solid and she's good with the ball at her feet, very experienced, and definitely will strengthen our team.
Yeah, and I've also downloaded a bit more information about her as well. She's basically a bit like Selena Sadolski as well in terms of her strength.
Okay.
She's quite a tall lady. She's 5'7.5", which doesn't sound tall in the men's game, but in the women's game, that's quite tall. Yeah. Right? So she holds the back line really well. She's really good at organising. And I've got a little bit of tidbit information from a couple of her teammates as she was departing. They said, we're very sad to lose her because she's been a stalwart in our defence. And not only is she just tenacious, she's just very likeable in the dressing room, very personable lady, and she gets on with everybody. And that's nice to hear because, when you have a player like that in your team, somebody who's very likeable, you're going to get the best out of the rest of the team because they'll want to work for one another.
Exactly.
Teamwork's very important. Now, look, what we're going to do, we're going to get to the chat because we've got 37 people waiting, would you believe? That's fantastic. Wow. Right, so we've got DJ Green alert saying maybe we should ask Levy's issues to take over the club then. Yes, I agree. You know what? Because the men's team, right, they're generally slow in the transfer market. They normally go quick, then a big slow period, and then quick again right at the end. But at least we got our business in quick. We do need to add some more additions. We really do need to strengthen more in the defence because I believe I read today that Molly Bartrip might be leaving as well. And Selena Sadolski, we might lose her. We're not sure yet. We're not really 100%, but we'll see. We'll watch this space on that one.
Yeah.
We got NS Sports, who's a big Chelsea fan. So sorry about the Chelsea jibes. Big up. Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much, Nippon. I've been on his show once before as well. He's a lovely guy.
Good.
Then we've got Jim Boxall.
Hey.
Brilliant. And then we've got DJ Green Alert. Carl, don't make jokes. What's
That's
he doing?
A great idea. That's
Carl without jokes is like Spurs without Glenn Hoddle or Ciardini. You know what I mean? Like our history. Yeah. Or even Bill Nicholson. Nah, it doesn't go, does it? Right, no. DJ Green Alert. Would the women want Sanchez though?
No, he's not good enough.
No, he's not good enough. We've got Luana Bühler now. We don't need him.
No.
Right, then DJ Alert said, Mrs. That was meant to be Elly. Yeah, thank you very much. And then we got Wayne Bonner. Good morning, Wayne. Good morning, ladies. How are you today? So what type of football does the new gaffer play? Well, I read that he tends to play 4-3-3, right? But he is an adaptable coach and he's known for his tactical awareness. and he's known for changing it around if things are not working. So he hasn't just got a plan A; he's got plan B, plan C, and he's one of these coaches that's very diligent on defensive, midfield, and attacking structure. I was reading up that he likes to do one-touch football as well, like the tiki-taki style. So I'm glad that we're doing that in the men's football as well with Postecoglou, and we're bringing it into the ladies' game as well, because we need players who are really good at bringing the ball out. And this lady, she can. I've watched her a few times now since we signed her. Obviously, you know, I'll hold up my hands. I'm not a big watcher of German football, but I do watch the ladies' football regularly, right? Especially Spurs ladies.
Obviously.
Like, okay, innit? We do watch them. And I go to live matches as well when I can. I went to 12 matches last year. It's just the away games a bit tougher, you know, because they're all, 90% of the teams are up north. It's a long way to go. Right, so David Clark saying Spurs ladies, the only football team in world football without proper fullbacks, but there again, nor have the men. It's true, you know. You know, he makes a really good point, David, you do. Because we've got Amy Turner and we've got Molly Bartrip, but they're not natural. Well, Amy Turner's more natural than Molly Bartrip, so they're playing in roles that are particularly tough. And then we had Selena Sadolski, who was out for most of the season through illness. So it was very hard for the defence. So they didn't show their best colours. What do you think, Kate?
Yeah, I mean, I was reading today, there's something like 12 of our players are coming to the end of their contracts as well.
Yeah.
And that's frightening. But I'm just hoping that this new guy comes in and addresses these issues and gets people in place to get this structure that he wants.
Yeah. And also, when he gets into the training sessions, I want to see a progression with the passing, you know, because our passing was quite woeful last season.
Yeah.
And that's why we lost the ball so many times. If it was more on point, I think the only one from defence who can really, really pass well, and she was played in an unorthodox role, was Ash Neville, right? And the midfield weren't really contributing like they could do, because I know Drew Spence is much, much better than she showed. She did play some good games, don't get me wrong, but she's much, much better. And I'm looking forward to her coming back from the World Cup with a lot of confidence. And I really hope that Jamaica, who she plays for, plays well. And I think Becky Spencer in goal will be brilliant as well. Becky Spencer, she's one of these goalies. She was playing a lot of second fiddle to Corpola, so she needed to grow her confidence, and she broke in for the last 8 or 9 games. She was quite regular, and we picked up on results, you know, so it does help. And she'll be featuring for Jamaica as well, so I'm really rooting for them as well, for being a Tottenham girl, you know, and growing up with Jamaican food and Jamaican people down my road. We had loads of Jamaican people. Next door neighbour, Mrs. Reed, brilliant. So I'm rooting for them as well as England. You know what I say? I've got lots of dual nationalities, isn't it, Kate?
Yeah, exactly.
Obviously, England's my first love, right?
Yes.
Because I was born in England. Yeah, so England are my first love. Right, so David Clark saying, Bartrip has already left. I'm 68 and much quicker than her. You know what? Sometimes you're a bit harsh, David. You know, sometimes you don't always need pace as a defender, right? You need anticipation skills and reading the game. If you read the game well, you can overcome lack of pace. Because when I played, I was in midfield. I was a cam. There were much faster players than me, but I had it all in the head. I was ahead of them in my brain, just like Teddy Sheringham for the men, just to give that comparison. He was ahead of the other players. What would you say to David Clark's comment?
Yeah, I totally agree. I don't think pace is as important as being able to anticipate the ball coming to you and controlling the ball. And, you know, it's obviously nice if you can get a defender with everything, but, a little bit harsh, I think.
Yeah. True. We've got Eltel Cockerell. Morning, DJ Green Alert, sorry. I'm going to call him Elliot from now on. He's the Elliot boy. Right. And then we got David Clark. Forget about bringing the ball out. We need defenders who stop other teams putting the ball into the net. True. That is true. But that comes with coaching as well.
Yeah.
If you coach the defence really well and you've got a good leader in there, David, I think you can overcome a lot of the times when you're going to concede goals. And also, like we said, anticipation.
Yeah.
You can teach players certain things, but sometimes anticipation is natural.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, in the men's game, for example, you've got Ledley King. He anticipated, but he had fantastic pace. So even if he anticipated and they still got round him, he could recover. Whereas the girls, they can work as a team. So if you anticipate and they still get round you, then the other one comes round. So one in front, one comes round. Yeah, to stop the attack. Yeah, and work as a team, and it really does help. Then we got my niece. Hello, Drula. Their fitness needs sorting out too. Very true. We've got some brilliant points today in our chat. What brilliant chat we got. You know,
look at Drula in that picture. How beautiful.
Beautiful, isn't she?
Yeah, very sultry.
Yeah, she is. And her sister's just a sultry, her sister Angela. And she's got a brother called Philip who does fantastic rap work. He's like a rapper. Yeah. So,
Wow.
So basically, she's saying the fitness sorting out. What do you think about that, Kate?
Yeah, I think so. But I think this Robert will whip him into shape. And he's also, I read that he really, he likes to concentrate on developing players and bringing them through from, say, like the academy. So people like Olga Okran are probably buzzing at a coach like this coming in, because he likes to try and bring players through. So it develops them. They said that he develops them really well to an international standard. So,
yeah, I read that. That's fantastic, isn't it? You know,
it is.
You always want your players to aspire to international level, because when they play internationally, they're playing against the best 11 in that team, and you do develop your game and you learn as well. You know, so I'm looking forward to that. It's like they're mirroring the men's game in a way.
Absolutely.
Very, very similar. You know, he likes to develop talent as well. So it's a very exciting time over at Spurs Women. I'm so excited to go to the matches at White Hart Lane as well. Come on, I campaigned for that. I badgered them. Yeah, because I'm her game too, which I'll mention later. Which is an award-winning organisation. It's fantastic, does brilliant work for women in sport. All females, young and old, yeah, and middle-aged, old. It doesn't matter how old you are, you know, on the official side as well, officiating and for the fans, right? So they do so much good work, and I like what they're doing in regards to developing the grassroots as well, pushing, you know. So I'll speak a bit more because we've got loads of people in the chat. Got David Clark, one of the goalkeepers has left as well. Yeah, that's Corpola, Tinja Corpola. She played so many games for Spurs. Very good servant to Spurs, you know, and a fantastic goalie, you know, because to finish fifth, having that was our second season in the league, and we finished fifth, and we dropped off this season, but a lot of that credit goes to the goalkeeper, because she was superb. She was,
and Beth England.
Yeah, well, that's this season. I'm talking like.
The season before.
Beth England, obviously, for this season she was fabulous. 12
Keeping
in
us
12.
up.
Saved us, really. Saved our bacon. You know, we probably would have got relegated, I would imagine. It depends. Like Reading was, you know, they were like blowing hot and cold like us. So, but when we finished fifth, we played some tremendous football, you know. And I've always followed the Spurs Women, but that season I enjoyed so much because we were very fluent in our play, and we lost that when we lost Rhiannon Skinner in March. Some of the discipline disappeared. You know, I'm not saying Vicky Gibson wasn't a disciplinarian, but Rhiannon Skinner was. and she came hard down on the players. I'll give you an example, right? I was at the Man City game, early doors, right? And Man City are an up-and-coming football team in terms of the ladies' game. And they're really good.
Mm-hmm.
When they've got Laura Hemp up front, and they've got that Khadija Shaw, who they call Bunny. So they were brilliant. And I just remember after the game, she said, right, it was basically, I didn't hear her say the words, but you knew that she'd said it because all the players congregated in the middle and she had them doing press-ups, running up and down the pitch, doing like exercises, and she wouldn't allow them to come over to the fans on our side. There was a few family members on the other side who they did go over just to give personal respects and, you know, whatever.
Yeah.
But she wouldn't let them come and talk to us, which I thought was a brilliant thing, because she thought, right, you don't deserve to go and talk to those fans because they've paid a lot of money to get here, and you haven't performed, right?
Yeah.
So maybe some players took that the wrong way. Some players, you know, when you've got a heart for the club, like that's why I like Ash Neville, because she plays for the badge.
Yeah.
Right. And she is a very technical player, which I like. But, you know, it was all the Man City players came over and they were all talking to their fans and they were talking to our fans as well. And you could see they had a little bit of upset on their faces because the Spurs girls weren't come over. Right. So, yeah, you know, sometimes you have to do that in football. Give them a little bit of a wake-up call. That's what I call it. Right. Yeah. So, right, DJ Green, shall we call him Alerty? Yeah, Alerty has to confess I don't really know a lot about Spurs ladies team. That's why you come here, DJ. Well, we'll call you DJ. I'm changing my
learning.
Mind. Yeah. I don't know. Listen, at the end of the day, you don't have to know everything, but you come here and you learn a little bit every time you come to visit us, DJ, and we will let you know what's happening on the Spurs front. We'll always do that for you, all right, darling? Right, I could even send you personal things, you know, like...
Oh, hello.
You know what I mean? Like,
no, I don't.
Snippets about... Like, if I've gone to a match, I'll send you a half-time report and a full-time report and a preview. But we're going to do those online because we're going to do watch-alongs next year as well, hopefully. Yes. I think they'll take off, I think. What we'll do a couple of trial ones, and if they really take off, we will still do them. But, you know, we want people to tune in at the end of the day. Right. So we don't want that one, right? We're going
to just show this little chat from Carl. Good morning to the one and only Queen Elly and Kate, the accent legend, who will do all accents on request. There's no better way to start a Sunday morning than with these lovely ladies.
Yeah, true, Carl. Do you know what? Sometimes, you know, like when you do accents, right? You can get them totally wrong, but if you're good at them, it's really funny.
I'm not good at them though. I just come out with them.
No, you're right. That's that one. We've done that one. One of the goalkeepers left. Where are we? I've lost my bearings. Yeah, we're here. Right. Learning as we go. True. Carl Simpson. That's the one. The ladies need the manager to build their confidence up, get them to believe in themselves, and results will come. You know, that is very true, Carl, because, you know, when you've got belief in football, you can overcome. We've seen so many giant killings in football, in men's and women's games. You know, if you go out on the pitch with the right attitude and that the coach gives you confidence and builds you up, you know, and gives you jobs to do, right, and you work as a team, you can overcome a lot. What would you say to Carl there, Kate?
Yeah, 100%. I couldn't agree more with what he says there. It's the same as the men's team. People need, I'm not saying they need to be mollycoddled, but you need somebody to build you up, and also you need to have good players around you so you feel comfortable and confident that, you know, if you mess up, there's someone there that's going to take over and rectify your mistake.
It's very true. You know what? It's teamwork, and there's teamwork within teamwork, right? So the defence, I believe the defence is just as important as the midfield and the attack, right? Because you can't always rely on your strikers. They're going to have bad days, right?
Mm-hmm.
Apart from if you're Beth England, of course. Right. But, you some games you do miss chances, and then you're relying on your defence, but also the number 6 and the number 8 in the team, who usually are central defensive midfielders, to help your defence. Like I said, one up, one behind. Like my brother was talking about the old Liverpool team with Alan Hansen. They knew, Emily Hughes and Alan Hansen knew each other's games. And I'll go for the men's team as well. When Benny and my favourite player in the men's team, Højbjerg, I'm sorry, but he's my favourite player. I can't help it. I know he's like Marmite, but I can't help it. But they had a fantastic understanding and teamwork within a team. In our team, in the ladies' team, I particularly think Ildesoy and Beth England, Ildesoy Bissett and Beth England have got a fantastic understanding. And also Rosella Ayan, very good player, very good technically on the ball, and all these team pockets in each area. If they work together and combinations, it really does help the team, and it helps them get results that when the other team might be technically better than you, stronger than you, because there are teams that are very established in that WSL league. Like you've got your Chelseas, your Arsenals and your Man Uniteds, and then you've got Man City and Aston Villa. They're not too far behind. So we've got to play catch up again now, because from the second season we finished second, and then now we've gone to 9th. That's a big drop off. And a lot of goals conceded as well. So, we've got to improve. And the fitness helps as well. So I agree with my niece. I need to work on that. I know it's off topic, but long layers need neither the speed or the brains.
DJ hates long lay.
Actually loves him. Dermot actually loves him. So I'm not going to say much on that. I think he's a decent passer of the ball. Yeah, he's actually more than decent at passing the ball. But a lot of French players are like that because they're taught that from a young age. They're really technically good on the ball. But I know what you mean by his pace. He doesn't have a lot of pace, but brains, I think he's got a footballing brain. But sometimes when you think about it, he's playing with Dyer, isn't he? So what do you expect?
Exactly that.
Yeah. Anyway, we won't talk about the men's game. This is a women's show, so we're not going to harp on about them too much. Right, I play 3 times a week and we'll be 55 in a couple of weeks' time. You're tight. I've got it all in my head, although I do like to get about, but there are also some whippets out there low. Yeah, Eltel Cockerell, that's Jose. No, Jose, sorry, not Jose. Jose, yeah. Jose, you're right. Because as you get older, obviously you're going to get slower. Right, and defenders are the same. As they get older, they have to use their brain more, right? And they have to really adapt their game, right? So I agree with you on that one. And being 55 and still playing football, I'll take my hat off to you, mate. It's fantastic.
So do I.
Do you know what I mean?
Very good.
Yeah, he told me I phoned him up, it was about 2 or 3 weeks ago, I think. And he said after I phoned him, they went and smashed the team 7-0.
Oh, yeah, I know you're a motivator.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? I have to take the plaudits when I can, especially at my age. I'm 60 now, so I've hung up my boots on my body, but my legs might have given up on me, but my brain's still on football. So I love football, men and women. David Clark saying she played left back for the second half of the season and was caught out of position and the ball was played in behind her. Became embarrassing. Sorry, but it was true. Who are you talking about? Molly Bartrip, aren't you? Yeah. You know what? Her heart's in the right place, Molly. She does work hard for the team, right? But sometimes when you're playing in a disjointed team and results are not going your way, your confidence gets hit, especially as a defender, because everybody's pointing the finger at you. You make one mistake as a defender, everybody remembers it. You make one mistake as a goalkeeper, everybody remembers it. But you can make several mistakes up front and in midfield. And people do remember it, but they don't remember it as much. You know, it's like just one little thing the ball could go over your head, you miss it, and then the team scores. And then all fingers are pointed at that defender for not covering her lines. You know, so in a way, sometimes when you say embarrassing, I think that's a bit of a harsh word, David, because I just feel like, you know, sometimes you've got to give players a bit more credit, you know, because they're playing in a tough league against teams that are way ahead of them in terms of their progress and how far they've come compared to Spurs ladies. But we're trying to catch up. All right, we've had a back thing this time. But what do you think, Kate?
I was going to say it's like Harry Maguire. He was just sensational at Hull City, Leicester. Comes to Man United, makes a couple of mistakes. Your fans get on your back. Your confidence is shattered. It's really hard to come back from that. So, you know, I just think, like you say, it is true. If Harry Kane misses 10 chances, but Sanchez makes one mistake, you're going to remember Sanchez's more than you're going to remember Kane's.
Yeah.
I know I'm talking about the men, but I'm just making a comparison.
And also, she's quite competent on the ball, Molly. You know, she works hard for the team. You know, there was one game where it really did dent her confidence. I remember it very well. It was against Manchester United, and we were losing 1-0, and then we equalised. Fantastic goal by Beth England, right? And then what happened? They went on the attack, and they were pelting our defence, actually, but this particular attack led to a goal. Molly Bartrip, she pelted it. She busted her gut to get back, and it just she slided it to get it off, you know, defend it properly, and it just hit the top of her tibia and then went into the goal.
Oh, no.
You know, she was trying her best. You know, when you've got an outstretched leg, and it hits you in the wrong place and it went into the goal. I felt so sorry for her, you know, because she did play quite well in that match as well. You know, and we gave Man United, who finished second in the league, I must add, you know, we gave them a really good game. Yeah. So let's move on from David, because he's like being neggy. Right. But, you know, you're entitled to your opinion, David. You know what I mean? Everybody's got an opinion, and we respect all opinions, you know, here. So Drula, my niece, saying, "Oh, you're so nice, girl. His makeup helps a lot, but admit not bad for 47."
47?
She's giving, no she's
way.
47, my niece. She's,
no bloody way.
Honestly, when she was a baby, she was gorgeous, and she's still gorgeous.
It must be good genes, Elly.
She's so lovely, and she's such a brilliant Spurs fan. I mean, I knock off I phone her up, and we have brilliant chats about Spurs. Not every single day, but every other day we do it. Yeah, right. So we got David Clark. We had no genuine defensive midfield players. Teams were driving through our midfield hole. We were sleepwalking. We needed at least 6 news. That is right. I wouldn't say we were sleepwalking, but I would say that we didn't have a solid defensive midfielder. So that's what we're going to talk about next, right? Because what we want to do is talk about how we're going to progress. Yeah, so let me get that banner up. Here we go. I think this is the one. What do we expect from our Spurs women this season? What we want our club to do to improve? Now, we have one new defender in Luana Bula, and we need more if we are to strengthen. Right. I particularly agree with David about that midfield, and we do need a couple of more defenders for the squad as well. But we can bring some youngsters through as well. You know, if they're good enough, they're old enough.
Yeah.
You know, I think up front we're okay, because we've got Beth England and we've got Elly Brazil coming back from injury. We're probably going to lose Kaya Simon, I believe. That's the big noise around the club, that she wants to go back to Australia. So let's see what happens with that one, because sometimes players change their mind, you know, and they do come back.
It says here that Kaya Simon has left the club. It was announced on June the 2nd, but I don't know if that's right.
I read that. No, it is right, but sometimes players have said that and they've still come back. because she did that a couple of years back as well. She said she was going to, and she still came back. I think it's the camaraderie they miss, and the grass is not always greener.
Yeah.
It's how she sees it. If she sees it as going home because she's homesick, or going home to an Australian team that maybe she played for as a young girl, and if she still wants to continue, she's still got a lot to offer. Because I like Kaya Simon. She was really good. But maybe she's thought, right, now we've got Beth England and we've got Elly Brazil coming back from her ACL tear against Man City. She suffered that. That was very unfortunate. But maybe she sees that. But with David Clark, I think he's right. We do need a couple of defensive midfielders to shore it up, and have one creative. Because Iowa Bucci's gone back to Arsenal. We had her on loan. Like I said before, she didn't set the stadium alight, but she wasn't bad. And when she did feature, she did try, but she wasn't like, I don't know, she's not that strong on the ball. We need somebody who can command that midfield, like Bentancur does for the men. He comes on, he struts his stuff, and he knows what he's doing. Yeah, we need someone like that. There's plenty of players to buy. They just got to get that scouting part of the Spurs women right. Like we scouted this Luana Beulah. We need to bring in more to strengthen.
There's just no rumours of us bringing in anyone. I mean, I searched to see if I could find any links of Tottenham women with anybody, but I didn't find anything at all.
I didn't even find the fee, how much we paid for Luana. I don't know if you found any information.
No.
There was no fee mentioned, was there?
All I saw was that they said she's worth 50,000 on one of these stat websites, but that's all I found.
Yeah, I saw that, but then it doesn't say what we paid for her. But it probably was in that region, I would imagine. Maybe less, maybe even half, 25 mil. But anyway, I'll look out for some news, and we'll do our scouting ourselves, won't we, Kate?
Yeah.
I mean, they wouldn't be far off using us as scouts, you know what I mean? Right. So what we've got now. So we do need strengthening. And now what I'm going to talk about is, I touched on this before, but maybe because we've got more people in the chat, maybe some people didn't see our last show. But I was Spurs Ladies Ambassador for her game 2. And it was an interesting year. It kicked off with an interview. I had an interview with her game 2, and they told me what they expect. They want me to sort of try and make a partnership with Spurs, but they've made so many other partnerships. It's really hard, but at least my voice in the club and in and around the club, and writing emails and just generally being a nuisance, right? And my talks with Chloe Wakelin. I just said, the thing is, when you play at White Hart Lane, it's so much better for the ladies. And no disrespect to Brisbane Road, it's a fantastic little ground. But when you're playing at home, you come out and you're pressured. You've got your Spurs cockerel, right? And you walk out on that pitch, and it's your pitch. It's not an away, because I see it as an away pitch. You're like playing 12 away games, and you've got your identity there. You've got your own fans, and local people can come as well, so they don't have to trek all the way over to Leighton to go and watch us play. It's so much better, and I'm so glad the club done that. What do you think, Kate? What do you think, Kate?
Oh, 100%. And I think it will lift the profile of the game, the women's game. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, can hear you fine.
Oh,
yeah, I can hear you.
I'm not sure if my internet's... Oh, you can. You can. Sorry, my internet's being funny. I think it, like I say, it will raise the profile of the game to have to have the ladies playing at White Hart Lane. It'll be fantastic. And so nice for them.
Yeah, because we played the Manchester United game at home, and it was brilliant. It was a fantastic atmosphere. There wasn't like thousands and thousands. I think the crowd was 6,000 or 7,000. But if they advertised it a little bit better, the club's got a responsibility, right? But for the penultimate game against Reading, sorry, because I've got something in my eye. Oh, right. For the penultimate game against Reading, they advertised it quite well, and quite a lot of fans stayed behind. You know, in one stand you had about at least 6,000, and then in the main stand you had another 2 or 3. So it was about 9,000, I think, stayed behind. But there was loads of people watching it outside as well. Because when I went toilet at half time, there was loads of guys just drinking their beers, and they were with their wives, or some of them with their young girls. And they were in there, and they came and joined the second half. So in the second half, there was a lot more fans come in because they saw the first half, how well the team played. And they thought, well, this is worth a bash. Because some people, they're on the fence about women's football, Kate, still.
Yeah.
You know, they haven't even watched a lot of games. You know, they're quite new to the game. You know,
exactly.
But that's where we can educate, and that's where we have programs like this on YouTube, so that people can get a lowdown on women's football and our enthusiasm for it. You know, it's not just men who play football, It is women as well. And the standard is getting so high, right? And the fitness levels are remarkable. When the World Cup starts on the 20th of July, and that opening game, New Zealand versus Norway, and Norway and New Zealand are decent sides, especially Norway. They're very strong team, right? So people are going to be surprised who are tuning in for the first time, because on the back of England winning the Euros, I think a lot of English people especially, and then you've got the Republic of Ireland, come on, the girls in green as well, representing Ireland. So, you know, and do you know what? They actually moved the venue for the Ireland game to a bigger stadium, right? So
really,
you see, they moved the venue because a lot of Irish people are going over. We were talking with Dermot about it, and he was a bit upset about the Irish League, the federation who run the women's game and the men's game, not helping people get over there because it's expensive. Because you're going all the way over to Australia and New Zealand to watch the matches. You know, so I just feel like they should do more, even on the England side, because I saw the girls getting prepped to go out. They did an interview with Millie Bright, the England captain, and it was so fabulous, you know. And then what's her name came over, Rachel Daly. She came over and she sort of crashed the interview a little bit, and then she went away. But it was really good to get an insight from the players, how excited they are.
Yeah, of course. They must be so excited. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. What do you expect the England team to do? What do you expect the England team
us to get to the final?
Yeah.
I expect us definitely to be in the final. I just hope we don't meet USA before the final.
Yeah, we don't know. I haven't checked up on that yet because I'm going to look at the groups properly, because I have to do even more research, because I know we can meet Canada. Canada if in the last 16. So that's going to be a tough match, but I think we've got the beating of them. Sorry, Bobby Kay and all the Canadian people tuning in, but I think we got the beating of you. So if we can avoid, because last time we played them in the semi-final, and that they are strong, the American team. So you've got to match them physically. Technically, we're just as good. And
exactly.
Now we've got Beth England. I just hope that Serena Wiegman plays her. I hope that she gets in the starting 11, or even if she doesn't. Even if she doesn't know, Kate, and they play Rachel Daly and it's not going so well and she gets her break, she's the type of player, I'm sure she'll get on and she'll take her chance, and I'm sure she'll whack a couple of goals in.
Yeah, I think so.
My heart's with Beth England, because first of all, she plays for our club Spurs, and secondly, she was fabulous for us. She's not just a brilliant goal scorer. She's so good at holding the ball up and bringing other players into play. And I'm sure David Clark would agree with that. We just need that better midfield, to another creative to give her the juice to go and do her stuff and score the goals. Oh, right. Look, we've got a super chat in. Lovely. Thank you, DJ Samuel. I met him at the Spurs on the protest. So thank you, DJ Samuel. DJ Samuel says, where do you think Spurs ladies will finish next season? Whoa. Right. So I'm going to make a bold prediction, Kate. I think we're going to finish 4th. Right. And the reason, my reasoning behind that is because we've got a new manager in. So we're going to have a new manager bounce. We're playing at White Hart Lane. That's the second reason. So we're going to be playing proper home matches rather than away matches. And third, we're going to strengthen more. I'm sure they've got a few more signings. And we've got a great academy as well. We'll be mentioning that later because we've got one particular player that we're going to mention in case you missed our first show. Yeah, so what do you think, Kate? Where do you think we're going to finish?
Maybe you're not 5th.
As me. Right, 5th. That's just not as good, but yeah, but you know what?
It's still an improvement.
Yeah, it is, because finishing 9th with a rotten season, really, it was right rotten. We did well in the cup competitions. We got knocked out by Reading 5-4 on penalties. It went to extra time. It was 0-0, and then we got beaten 5-4 on penalties. So, you know, that could have gone either way. Penalties is a lottery, isn't it? Yeah, and then Chelsea beat us in the other cup competition, and they had a bye. And they decided to play at Brisbane Road, which I was very cross about. So I think if we played at White Hart Lane, because we got beat 3-0, right? But I think if we played that game at White Hart Lane, there'd been a big crowd there because we were in the 5th round. And then the next round would have been the quarter-final. So, no, that was the quarter-final. It would have been the semi-final. And then it's anybody's game, you know, even if you meet the bigger teams, which you're more likely to meet, yeah, because Chelsea went on to win it as well, which is another dagger in our hearts, you know.
I know.
But that's the thing.
They seem to get everything go their way.
Yeah, and I think they should look at that in women's football. Now, we can make the noises on YouTube about it, that shouldn't happen. You know, if you're in the Champions League, you come in from the beginning, all right? Because they're giving them a bye, so it's an unfair advantage. Yeah, so I totally disagree with that. And then we got David Clark. Beth England is a superstar. She saved us single-handed. We are miles behind Aston Villa, let alone the top 4. I'm dreaming of 6, but I tend to wake up, which spoils the dream. I think 8th. Okay, David. Well, I personally think we're going to finish 4th. And the reasoning is because I'm sure they're going to get a few more signings in, because the manager will demand it as well. Because once he's got his team, right, because you can make signings right up. It's not like the men's game. You can make signings really right up to the end of January, I believe. So I'm sure that's the case. I don't think they close it as early, right? So I'm sure you can make signings, especially if you get injuries, because it's not fair. Then, I mean, you've got a first team of 11, and then there's not much more after that apart from the academy, right, and a few more, you know, players. There's not a great pool of players, so we need to strengthen like the whole squad, not just the first 11. We need to strengthen the whole squad, have another 7 or 8 players who can come in and fill in. What do you say? I know you said we're going to finish 5th, but 8th, do you agree with David?
Well, it's possible, but even if it's 8th, it's still an improvement on last season. We've got to take the positives from that. But yeah, like you said, I think the manager's going to demand that they strengthen. Any manager, they want to bring in the best players. So let's hope we make some good signings soon.
Yeah, true. I just feel we need to strengthen the squad in total. And then if he's looking at the academy, that's what I'm going to get on next. So I'll bring that up, actually. I'll get the one. So first of all, Spurs launched our female talent pathway in 2020-21 season. And the player's story is Olga Okran. She's in our academy. And she speaks very highly of the talent pathway because it's helped her a lot. And Jenna Scilacci, who's in charge of the under-19s now, she was our former player. She was a fabulous player. And she basically is in charge of this girl called Olga Okran, who's like she's been given her chance and she's carrying on her education as well. So she's a fantastic player, and she's one. I reckon, Kate, she's going to break into the first team. I think she's that good, even at
Me
19.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
I've seen little snippets of her playing, and I'm going to be watching out for her, because the academy, I'm going to find out where they're going to play their matches this season. I hope they play them over at the Spurs training ground. I hope they play them there, because they were doing that, but I hope they do continue playing that over there, or even at Brisbane Road, because I can't see them playing their matches at the White Hart Lane, because it'll be too much congestion. Yeah, but either way, it's a great story for the girl to come up from the ranks and really put her football career and her education at the forefront. What do you think, Kate?
And she seems a lovely, grounded, humble girl as well. And I think with this new coach, he's going to give her a chance sooner rather than later, 100%.
Yeah, I hope so, because you know what, when you're a young player and you're breaking in, and you get nervous, obviously, the first few games, but if the team gel and they get off to a really good start, and then you come in and it's a positive outlook for the whole team, and the new managers buzz in, and everybody's gelled together, and you're going away confident to those away matches, because we lost a lot of our away matches as well. So they just got to make sure that they get the other few signings in as well, because that is important. Like David Clark says, we are weak in that area, and you've got to have a solid defence in the midfield as well. The CDMs are very, very important, because they'll do a lot of the legwork to stop the ball coming through. Yeah, and they work as a team. But like the creative side of things, I think we're not too bad, but we do still need one more creative midfielder, and someone with legs as well.
Yeah.
Somebody who can carry the ball, who's got the fitness, So I hope the scouts are working hard on that. I'll just mention Jenna Scalacci as well, but she hung up her boots in the 2019-2020 season, and she's taken over our under-19s, and that is in fantastic hands now. She was a brilliant player for us, so I'm really confident that we've got some really good people in the top places at our club, and it only remains to be seen how Robert will come along, and I even sent him a private message. I followed him on Instagram, and I sent him a lovely private message. Do we have the banner from Spurs to welcome him? Do you have that, Kate? Do you have the slide with the word in that welcomed in? Can you bring it up?
No.
It's all right.
I know my internet's been bad.
That's all right. I'll read it from. So the Spurs official website says, we are delighted to announce the appointment of Robert Villaharm as our new women's head coach. Robert will join us on a 2-year contract subject to work permit. Andy Rogers, managing director. Robert is an ambitious, dynamic and successful coach, and we are excited to welcome him to the club ahead of the upcoming season. He has a track record of developing players to international level and competing for both domestic trophies and in Champions League, demonstrating his ability to match our own ambitions and philosophy. After representing IFK, Gothenburg and Sweden under 19 as a player, Robert began his coaching career. You see, so he's coached for a lot of teams as well. I'll get up his, the Wikipedia. It was in Swedish, unfortunately, and I can't read Swedish. I know I'm an international of mystery, and I've got a lot of international teams that I follow, but I'll get up his. That's all right. First of all, what I'll do Luana Bueller's. So she was born on the 28th of April 1996. She's 27. She's an international player for Switzerland. She was born in Switzerland as well. She's 5'7.5". She generally plays as a centre back. And her current team before she joined us was 1899 Hoffenheim. She played the number 5, which is, like I said, centre back. She also represented FC Zurich before she was transferred to Hoffenheim, and she played 82 times for Hoffenheim, scoring 5 goals as a defender. Not too bad. And she's represented Switzerland since 2018 when she made her breakthrough. And she played 27 games for Switzerland so far. So she's an experienced international. Just wish her well, I really do wish her well. And she's coming to a team that was very disjointed last season. So she's going to quickly fit in. And, as long as we got Shalina Satulski there as well, that would be 2 fantastic additions to the team, the manager and her. Right, so I've got Robert Villaharm. He previously coached at Yetterby, Orgurati and Juvindin. I think that's how you pronounce it, Juvindin. It's a Q, but I think it's Juvindin in Sweden. He was named BK Häcken assistant manager in 2020, which is a big team in Sweden, before being appointed as head coach of the women's team in 2022. Tottenham have been, and then it says Tottenham have been without a permanent head coach following Rianne Skinner's sacking in March. All right, so there you go, everybody. But we would like to end, actually. I'll cover her game too in a separate thing, but we'd like to end on a positive note as well in the women's game. Right, not that one. Right, let me go down a bit. Sorry, because I'm really good on other things, but not so good at bringing this up. So we've got Hannah Dingley, who we mentioned in our last, which you actually found out, Kate. So all credit to Kate, right? Because she texted me really excited about it and phoned me about it. So Hannah Dingley, I'll give you the pleasure of reading this one out, Kate, as it was your discovery. You can read this one out, Kate.
Yeah. Hannah Dingley, 40 years old, as first working woman as Burton Albion's coach between 2016-2019. And on the 4th of July, she was appointed Forest Green Rovers caretaker manager following the sacking of Duncan Ferguson. So the first woman to be coaching a man's team. Yes.
Yeah. So that's a really big breakthrough. It's like a milestone in the women's game, because we've already seen women referees. We've already seen women linesmen. We're seeing women commentators regularly on the men's side. Obviously, they're on the women's side, but they're regularly on the men's side. The World Cup's coming up, starting on the 20th of July. There's going to be women referees. I think there might be a few men as well. I'm not sure, but I'm sure there's going to be a few men. Because it can't be sexist in that respect. If you want it for one part of the game, you want it for the other club. Because at the end of the day, it's one game, but you want to see fairness.
Yeah.
Who's best for the job? Yeah. So the first woman World Cup referee as well.
Yeah.
She was interviewed on BBC. I think it was BBC Sport, and she was interviewed, and that was fabulous as well. To have a woman referee, it's like recognition for the women's game as well, isn't it, Kate?
Of course it is, yeah. And I was talking about this yesterday on my stream, and I said it doesn't matter if they're black, white, green, yellow, male, female, whoever the best person is for a job should get the job. And we see women can do what men can do, particularly with sports. It's been proven that. So seeing these women's teams, women's coaches, referees, linesmen, all so positive, and something years ago they would never think would ever happen.
Yeah. And also because the woman in the WSL, it was a woman manager, Emma Hayes, who did the double. So she beat 7 other men to that title. Exactly. She won the FA Cup and the league title, and she's been doing it regularly, Emma Hayes. So maybe she might fancy a little tipple into the men's game as well. But she'd have to leave her beloved Chelsea women. I wonder if Nippon is still in the chat, what you'd think of that. If like Pochettino next year even says, I want you to join my coaching team. that'd be marvelous, because she's more than capable, Kate, of doing that. Emma Hayes, she's one of the top coaches,
she's fantastic,
male or female. Motivating as well. She's a fantastic motivator.
Yeah.
I was reading her biography the other day, how hard she's found it to get accepted as a woman player, yet alone a coach, you know, because in the coaching world, a lot of the men do dominate. Even the WSL, there's going to be, I think it's 7 men now, and then you've got the West Ham to 4 women. So 7 men, 4 women, and then you've got 1 more to be appointed. I don't think, to my knowledge, nobody's been appointed at West Ham because Paul Konchesky left. So, yeah, I don't know. Whoever's best for the job, like you said, Kate, whoever's best for the job, male or female.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, right, well, we come to the end of the show now, but what we want to do is do some plugging now. So we've got our beautiful Kate here. She's over at Just a Girl Who Loves Spurs, and you can find her at youtube.com at Just a Girl Who Loves Spurs. So get over there and subscribe, everybody. You haven't got an excuse. Get over there, press that subscribe button, like all her videos, because she's doing a fantastic job. Not only is she doing a full show, she's doing her shorts as well, which I'll take my hat off to you, because you know it's a lot of dedication when you start up a show. You don't realise how much hard work goes into putting a show together. When Dermot used to tell me, right, I used to say, yeah. I took him seriously, don't get me wrong, but you don't realise how much until you do it yourself.
Exactly. Yeah. It is, because all the research and putting it all together, but I just love it. I love it. And the people that come into the chat just make it for me. Yeah.
The people in the chat is fantastic. I really do thank you for coming in today. And Kate, you know, it's something to bounce off as well. It makes us laugh. They put questions to us. They make us think as well.
Yeah.
You know, just it's nice to get a man's perspective on the women's game as well, not just women. And most of the people that are watching us today are fellas, because most of the people in the community are fellas. So when you join us, we feel privileged that you've joined us as women, especially because it's hard enough in the men's game to be accepted as a player or a referee. But when you're on YouTube as well, it's hard. You know, I've always found everybody's been so good to me, you know, and they named me Queen Elly, and then I just had the Hoy beer. But at first I was at Queen Elly Not on Belly. But we soon dropped that when we found out he wasn't pulling his weight, you know. I had to identify with a player. All right, he's not the best of players technically, and like he's not the best of players, but I like him because he's got good heart for the club. You know, I love players who play for the badge, you know. And same with Ash Neville. Yeah. She's got a heart with Spurs, and she's not even born in Tottenham, you know. That's what I like. People not even born in London, they come and play for our club, you know. Right, so we've mentioned Kate there, and what a brilliant show she's got. Get over there and support her because she's fantastic. And then we've got our Mia, who's I'll put the HTTPS in for you, Mia, at YouTube /youtube.com at Spurs Between the Lines 1. Don't forget the 1, right? But you can find her just by putting Spurs Between the Lines, and you can find Kate by putting Just a Girl Who Loves Spurs into YouTube. I'll just put J in and it finds you now, Kate, because I'm always on your side show, bigging you up. Because you know what, we've got to big ourselves up, but we also like people bigging us up as well, because it gives you confidence as well, you know, to carry on your show. And if it gets even more and more popular, because even today, look, we've had so many more people in the chat, right? You can take the chat now, Kate. I mean, you can bring it up, can't you? Yeah. You finish off with the chat.
Yep, I can.
Yeah.
David Clark says shouldn't be, because females make up 51% of society. Yeah, they do, but it's still, I find the YouTube Tottenham base and the YouTube content creators are predominantly male. But hopefully we'll change that.
Yeah, now what
I have to apologise if my internet's crap today.
what I urge people to do, we're not playing beggar friends here or anything, but have us ladies guest on your show as well. Not just like we join your show because the link's been put out there. Particularly ask us and we'll come on because we can give you a different perspective on things, but on the men's game, and we can promote our own ladies show so we can get more notoriety. Because once people tune into our show, I'm sure they're going to enjoy us because we've got nice personalities as well.
Yeah.
And we know our stuff. We know our stuff. Yeah. Fire away, Kate.
Elly particularly, she knows everything.
Well,
Jim said, he's got to say this. Drula says, big up, ladies. And Jim says, you two lovely ladies are fantastic. We love you.
Thank you, Jim.
Thanks, Jim. Edward Wyvers, I had Swedish meatballs for dinner from IKEA.
They are really nice as well, I'm telling you.
I can't speak Swedish. The closest I get. The closest I get to Swedish is hurdy-gurdy, wordy-gurdy. That's it. Drula says she'll make an appearance soon.
Yeah, because I've been encouraging my niece to come on.
DJ says it's nice to be here.
Do you know what? The first time you do it, you're a little bit nervous, and then you grow into it, innit, Kate? Do you know what I mean? You get more confidence about speaking. Yeah. It's nice to be here, true.
Yeah, the thing is as well, I think the first time you do it, you're wondering what people expect from you that first time, and then you realise you just got to be yourself and the chat just follows.
Yeah, because you know what? Personalities in YouTube, like on the men's side, I particularly like Expressions because he's a nutter. And obviously I've got my allegiance to our own show, THFC Till I Die. Dermot's got fantastic wit. He's so funny. And Philip, he gives him a little bit of a jib and it creates a really good talking point in the chat, you know, and then everybody starts breaking out jokes and that. And they do make it entertaining for the people watching. Like the last show on THFC Till I Die, Dermot was showing the Garda, which is the Irish police, and it was hilarious. You were in the chat that day, so it was funny, man. It was so funny. And just generally, like around YouTube, even other fans ones, like we got FTS and Colin, who's brilliant. That show's fantastic. And then we've got other people like obviously the Irish Hotspur. That's the home. That's my first home actually. The Irish Hotspur with David and Jack. Fabulous show, you know. And I had the pleasure of meeting them a few times now. So especially the first time I met them and seeing Jack come into the ground and tears pouring down his eyes because he was so emotional. First game at White Hart Lane from America, come all the way from in New York, but I think he's originally from Seattle. I think I'm right on that one. Yeah. So, but David Harris, what a man! He's fabulous. And then you've got new shows popping up like the Hotspur Hippie with Paul Beatty. Oh my God, I'll crack up every time I tune in to that show. He's brilliant. But big up the women. We've got Holly Agenbar.
He's hilarious.
We've got you. We've got Mia. We've got Holly Agenbar. We've got Jodie. She still does a show on Paxton, right? Paxton Road, right? So, you know, there's lots of women popping up here and everywhere. And over at Arsenal Fan TV, they've got a massive show, but they do let the women come in. And it'd be nice for the bigger shows as well to include us ladies. You know, not that they don't do it, but we don't always get notoriety on YouTube. You know, I'm having a little gripe now, having my little rant, you know. But, you know, we would want to be invited because you guys want to invite us on merit, you know. So anyway, enough of my ranting. We'll just finish off the show. I've got something funny to play you, right? This would be Kate. If England win the World Cup, England women, that is, as obviously, and the men, this would be Kate. And on that note, as Dermot says, right, on that note, no, actually, I'll play it one more time because it's so funny. And thank you to Joseph Monaghan. Please press the like, subscribe on our channel as well, THFC Till I Die. We're THFC Women Till I Die on here, but it's Elly and Kate's. Well, we're going to maybe change the title a little bit, but maybe we'll keep it because Breakfast Show is just as good, isn't it? Yeah. So, yeah. So we'll really thank you for joining us today, and look forward to our next show. Our next show is going to be the Germany team. Sorry. So we're going to be featuring their World Cup side. And hopefully you'll join us for that. That'll be tomorrow at 10:30.
Is that tomorrow?
Please, tomorrow, yeah. Unless you want to do it another day, it's totally up to you.
Excellent.
I'm cool.
No, fine.
So thank you very much for joining us. We look forward to you all joining us again. Thank you very much for everybody who joined us in the chat. You take care. Enjoy your Sunday. Bye-bye.